Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Today I'm super uber mega excited to be sharing this video with you guys because today I am gonna be sharing a very interesting movie just in case any of you haven't watched it yet. So basically it's called Dancing on Glass, and yes, I will be speaking about this very interesting relationship that developed between Aurora and Irene. But before we get into further details and actually discuss everything, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, and if you have watched the movie, please let me know your personal opinion as well, because like I always say, your opinion does matter. So let's get right into further details and not waste any more time. So basically, after the star of the national classic ballet tragically passed away, Irene is chosen to take her place in the company's biggest ballet production, basically called Giselle, now the target of all the jealousy and cruelty of her fellow dancers. Irene finds a friend, the new dancer Aurora. A lonely teenager dominated by her mother is isolated and pursued by the basically sacrifice required for her to succeed when it comes to this career. Irene and Aurora relationship becomes increasingly close and get obsessively with one another. Together they embark on a headlong fight in search of themselves. The movie is actually in Spanish. Yes, it's in Spanish and it was released in 2022. And once again, it is called Dancing on Glass. So let's get right into a little bit more detail. So just so you guys can understand how everything developed and what leads to the activities and the events that actually happen between these two ladies. Irene also landed a role in the play, but after reaching the company, she realized that everyone expected that Ruth to play the part, and she started to feel like an outsider. She just felt like she didn't belong, that nobody wanted her there. Everybody was envying her, everybody didn't want her around. So she would just used to, be by herself at her corner, not speaking to anybody, just like really like just minding her business and just feeling like a complete outsider. Aurora and Irene first basically interacted outside at a club where the group was celebrating the first day, that they were introduced to the play. They both felt out of place and found comfort in each other, so they basically just started a conversation, getting to know each other. So they kind of built this very beautiful bond. And there's also a moment when they realized that they can actually only count on one another, because nobody really accepted, that they got the roles that they got, and everybody wanted their roles, so they knew like what the situation that was going on. Irene's father was not too fond of Irene's profession. He had her feel insecure about her work and wanted her to focus on a long-term plan. He was always in her ear like, hey, this is not a job, you can do this forever. So that really affected her a lot. So she kind of distanced herself from her family, but also at the same time, she knew that it was basically impossible, because somewhere somehow, her family will always, be there. But I kind of get it, I really do get it. When you want to do something so bad, but you don't get the support you need, it can really affect you a lot. So, yeah, so they both are actually going through a lot. Aurora with her mother that is very like persistent on her and be there for her. Like, yeah, you need to succeed at this, you need to do this, you need. And on the other hand, we have Irene where her parents is like, no, you don't need to be doing this. I don't want you to do this. You have to figure something else out. So it's kind of, this the other side of the other side. The story took a turn and entered an act when two Aurora was betrayed by a man she fell in love with. After spending a few hours together, in that moment she got injured, her leg, and her mother advised by the doctor to keep Irene away from her. The two didn't deal with each other and actually was separated. Yes, so the moment that she actually injured her leg, that's where she knew that it was the moment that her whole career was in jeopardy, especially when it comes to this major role that she has to focus on. So her mother told, the doctors, I don't want Irene around her. I don't want to see Irene. She's the reason why my daughter is in the situation. She is the reason why my daughter might not be able to make it to the play, and I don't want her. So this separation between the two really caused, them to go into chaos because they were so codependent on one another. So the fact that they couldn't see each other, spend time together, talk to each other, and basically just be there for one another. And also at the other hand, you can also see that Irene, she was feeling guilty, even though she had no reason to feel guilty because it wasn't her fault. You know that Aurora's leg got injured, but we all know that, you know, you as a ballet dancer getting your leg or your feet or any body part injured can really affect your career a lot. So that distance between the two, that time that they spent, you know, far from one another was very, very difficult on both of them. And it definitely affected them both a lot mentally. Irene ends up reaching out to Aurora on the opening night. Aurora managed to enter backstage and motivate Irene, the woman in charge of the company after the performance. Basically, during the performance, you know, noticed Aurora backstage. She dragged her to the trailer's room and asked her to leave. She was no longer part of the company, basically just treating her very, very cruel because in this case, she actually ended up losing her role because of everything that happened. So, you know, she wasn't allowed on the premises. She wasn't allowed to attend the event. She was just excluded from everything. You know, nobody wanted to know anything about her. But it was very difficult for her to stay away because she really wanted to be there to support Aurora, and she knew how important that would be for her to actually be there. So when this whole situation was going on, they actually end up getting into a physical altercation because in this case, you can see that Aurora also ends up, you know, coming into the room just to help Irene out, you know, because she heard her backstage, so she was wondering what's going on. So when they got there, you can actually see that in this case, Norman, Aurora, and Irene, they got into the situation where they just start arguing with one another, going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. And of course, that led into a very, very unfortunate situation where in this case, Norma, who is the woman in charge of the company, you know, got eliminated. Yes, she got eliminated. And of course, at that very moment, in this case, Aurora, she needed to go back to finish the performance just, you know, to make sure that they can cover up, you know, the evidences. So in this case, Aurora, she went back, she finished the performance. Irene actually stayed to try to see what they have to do because, you know, the body was just laying there. So there was just a whole lot going on. So after Aurora actually finished, you know, her performance, she got a standing ovation from everybody. And also, you know, she actually went and got Irene and they basically walked to the land of dreams, which for me, I kind of didn't get it. I didn't understand what does that mean. But they basically it's like they're walking into the destiny, something like that. So be honest, this is a true representation of codependent friendships and relationship. You know, the two just couldn't stay away from one another. No matter who tried to intervene in their situation, nobody could keep them apart. And at the end of the day, you know, I would have liked to see what happened after the police, of course, found the evidence of the crime that was committed. I wanted to see how that would have played out, you know, or maybe just have a writing to see what if have done. But this is a true representation of a very, very intense and toxic relationship. Once again, if you guys are interested in watching this movie, like I said, it's called Dancing on Glass. It was released in 2022 and it's available to watch on Netflix. Yes, it is available to watch on Netflix. It's in Spanish, but you don't have to worry. There are translations available. So when it comes to that, you don't have to worry. I would highly rate this movie a 8 out of a 10. I really enjoyed it. And in the future, hopefully I will go back and go watch it again. So yes, guys, that's basically it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Until the next video, and goodbye.